What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and when it comes to the reaction to Dave Chappelle's Netflix special, The Closer, so much attention has been paid on the small, insignificant group of people who want to pretend like they were actually offended and actually hurt by what Dave Chappelle said, and are now doing anything and everything they can to bring him down, to make Netflix pay, and to cancel Dave Chappelle, when in reality, the vast majority of people have no problem with it. The vast majority of the people overwhelmingly support Dave Chappelle and thought his stand-up routine was hilarious. And now someone who's pretty well acquainted with controversy himself, as well as stand-up routines, is coming out to defend his friend Dave Chappelle and tell all these weirdos, all these losers, that you are wrong in what you're trying to do, that you are wrong in what you're trying to say, and label Dave Chappelle as. And that is Joe Rogan. You can see the headline. Joe Rogan defends Dave Chappelle, says he's, quote, in no way transphobic amid Netflix special uproar. And we are going to take a listen to this over on JR or Powerful JRE. I saw this come out the other day because I tuned into a part of the podcast. We had Michael Malice on. Shout out Michael Malice. You see a little bit of him in this clip as well. But I didn't get around to it yesterday. Not too many people talking about it like I thought there would be. I thought what Joe Rogan said was absolutely hitting the nail on the head when it comes to this entire controversy. It is a group of individuals who have decided to take anything and everything they can to pretend like they are being victimized. And they are turning jokes into real life. And that is a problem. So let's listen to what Joe Rogan has to say.
Joe Rogan experience.
Have you talked to Chappelle about all the shit he got for that last
special? Yeah, a little bit. We texted back and forth. It's, he's just, riding out the storm. Like, he's not a homophobic or transphobic person. He makes fun of himself. There's a bit in that special about him getting molested and jerking off in a man's face.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, or coming in a man's face.
That is literally in there. That's one of the more shocking moments in there. But again, like I've said in so many videos, this is stand-up comedy. This is busting each other's balls. This is being able to make fun of yourself as well as everyone else. That's part of what comedy is. That's part of what humor is. Whether it's stand-up comedy or literally just in the basement with your buddies, fucking hanging out, watching a game, playing video games, whatever it may be. This attitude that jokes can no longer be jokes anymore is insane.
Look, it's fun. It's just making jokes. That doesn't mean hate. This is the problem with today. If you don't have an enemy, you make an enemy. And this is a real problem with people. We look for things. Like if there's some people that really hated you and they were the enemy, people that just joked around about stuff wouldn't be thought of as the enemy. It's like, and as the level of people truly hate you drops, you start looking for equilibrium in what you're upset about.
And that is a great point. And really what that means for the people that are out there at the Netflix walkout that was just cringe and an absolute disaster and a joke when effectively nobody showed up for this thing, right? Things like that. It's because they have such a good life. It's because they do have equal rights. It's because they are treated normally. It's because they do have all of these things. So now they don't have real world problems to actually talk about. Now they have to pretend like a comedy special, like jokes being told, like one thing on this platform that has a ton of other trans programming, LGBTQ plus programming on it, as well as actors, directors, all these things. You have all this representation. You're worried about this one thing, these jokes that were told, because you have such a desire to be a victim and to show your victimization every step along the way, that you have to make things up like this, that this is actually causing real world harm to you.
And so now you're more upset about jokes. Now silence is violence. And now, you can't just be this, you have to be that. And it becomes this like weird control level where what people start to conflate. When you start equating jokes with like real feelings. Well, they're not the same thing.
Well, I don't think that's what it is. I think they're trying to put different individuals or groups on a pedestal and kind of make them sacred. And when you have someone comes along and knocks them off that pedestal, all of a sudden you're trying to undo what I'm trying to do, which is to make this person holy. And now you are my enemy because your agenda is the opposite of mine.
Fully agree. I was getting to that.
Okay.
No, it's okay. You're right though, 100%. But it's these ideas that you can't make fun of are dangerous. They're not good for anybody. They're not good for the people to hold those ideas, whether it's about who you are or what you do. The idea that no fun can be had about any of this is crazy, because the idea is that then all fun is done maliciously and out of hate. And we know as friends that is just not true.
Well, all my fun is malicious.
It's also funny.
Funny.
If you and I were fucking with each other and we're saying ridiculous shit to each other, we would both be smiling
100%.
while we did it. This is what Roast Battle's all about.
Right.
My friend Brian Moses. This is what a lot of what Kill Tony's about. Like, it's fun.
It's about, like I said, I'll bring it back to what I said before. Just hanging out with people. Like, if I'm on a stream talking to people, Jeremy, if I'm busting Jeremy's balls, if I'm busting Gary's balls, like, that is what we do. That's normal behavior in a society. We have humor by poking fun at one another, right? And comedy, stand-up comedy, is just that to the next level. That's making fun of people in the audience. That's making fun of this group of people, that group of people. Self-deprecating humor. All of the above. That's what it is. And this small fringe group of weirdos is trying to pretend like that's not reality, like that doesn't exist. They're trying to pretend like their viewpoint is the normal one, and it is just not. I'm sorry, but it's just not.
It's fun in making fun of each other, and we have to accept that.
Yeah.
And then I need to know your real feelings about gay people, your real feelings about trans people, your real feelings about all religions and all races and all ethnicities. But we got to be able to joke around about each other. And if you get down to Dave Chappelle's real feelings, he's a lovely person. He's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. He loves everybody. He's not a hateful soul. He's beyond jealous. He's just a guy who loves this art form called stand-up comedy, and he tries to do his best navigating through this world of talking shit about things and saying outrageous things that get huge laughs, or placating really sensitive groups that feel like they're in a protected class. And then the other people that pile onto that also feel like this is a protected class. And they equate any jokes with hate. And this is where they're wrong. Like, I'm telling you that Dave Chappelle does not hate anyone or anything. But he's not that person. His jokes are just that. They're just jokes. And if you really pay attention to what he's saying, whether you agree with him or not in some of his jokes, like whether or not they're funny, just really pay attention to the overall message. It is in no way transphobic. It's just not.
But this...
And it's the opposite of transphobic. So many people didn't even listen to the special. Remember George Takei? I made the video about George Takei, who put out these tweets out there that made it obvious he didn't even listen to the special. He was just piling on. He had no idea what he was talking about. And over and over again, we see this happen. We see this departure from reality, this departure from sanity. And if you do listen to what Dave Chappelle said, the moral of the story was about his friend, his transgender friend that was a deep friend to him, that when she died, it impacted him greatly. That was the core message of this entire thing. So then to make it all about how Dave Chappelle is transphobic, that is absolutely ridiculous and insane. Jokes are just that, jokes. Greatly said, well put by Joe Rogan, and I'm glad that Joe Rogan is doing this. Listen, whether he intended to or not, all those years ago when he started the podcast, Joe Rogan has become a powerful voice in culture. So when he comes out and defends someone like this in Dave Chappelle, that matters. And the way in which he did so matters. And I think it's a really good thing. He obviously knows Dave Chappelle. He talked about texting him back and forth about this, about these things that are going down. He's doing a show with them. Pretty sure Yellow Flash is going to go to a show with Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan sometime in the next week or so. So these guys are close friends. He does know Dave Chappelle. That's why he's so passionate about backing up his friend against the ridiculous things that are being said about him. I want to know what you guys think, though. What do you think about Dave Chappelle and his words? What do you think about Joe Rogan coming out and defending Dave Chappelle repeatedly and saying that these people are not living in reality and they need to understand that comedy is comedy and jokes are just that, jokes? Let me know in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.